What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at Nevanthi, the Green Lady. Nevanthi is in the Wilder faction, is a mage-based hero, is a support hero, and her focus is regen or health regen. Now, Nevanthi is a unit who kind of is just a bunch of healing. She does a lot of healing. She has a little bit of debuffing and buffing in her kit, but I mean, her bread and butter is just heal, 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 and sustain. And so she does a great job at what she does. She is a support hero through and through. She's not going to be outputting a bunch of damage, but she will be healing a lot. So if we look at her first ability, Nature's Flourish, Nevanthi releases the power of the wood element and gradually heals all allies for 20% of her max health over the next 5 seconds. For allies who have the Arbor Refuge effect, if their health is lower than 40%, they will immediately be healed for 10% of Nevanthi's max health, otherwise they will gain 150 energy. Each allied hero can only benefit from this effect once per ultimate. Level 2 reduces the damage taken by allies by 20% for the skill's duration. And then 3, when Nevanthi uses her ultimate, its effects are granted to 2 allies with the lowest health percentage who do not have the Arbor Refuge effect. Now I'm going to apologize in advance. All of her abilities have massive descriptions, and so basically I'm going to be reading a ton here. Natural Gifts. Nevanthi sends a branch to the ally with the lowest health percentage, healing them for 15% of her max health and granting them the Arbor Refuge effects for 10 seconds. Arbor Refuge, if a hero with the Arbor Refuge, and I'm going to say Arbor Refuge 500 times too, effect takes damage exceeding 20% of their current health, the Arbor Refuge effect will be removed and the damage will be reduced by 40%. In addition, they will gain a shield worth 25% of Nevanthi's max health for 5 seconds. While active, the shield reduces all damage the hero takes by 3% of Nevanthi's max health. Level 2, when Arbor Refuge effect is removed, it will now reduce damage taken by 60%, and then the duration is 7 seconds at level 3. And so with a lot of these abilities, compared to the classic server, there's a few tweaks as far as like their percentages, some increased, some decreased. Same with the seconds of how long some of the things are. Some things were increased 1 or 2 seconds, some things were decreased 1 or 2 seconds. There's nothing too major in all of her abilities except for the last one, which we will kind of discuss in a second. And so connecting branches, passive, every 5 seconds, a branch grows behind Nevanthi and she recovers 50 energy. She can store up to 3 branches. If an allied hero's health falls below 50%, Nevanthi will consume a branch to heal them for 15% of Nevanthi's max health. Each allied hero can only receive this effect once every 5 seconds. Active, Nevanthi reduces attack rating of the enemy hero with the highest attack rating to that of the enemy hero with the lowest attack rating. If the enemy is a boss, there is only one enemy, the damage they deal will be reduced by 20% for 5 seconds. And then level 2 is like the same exact thing, but for defense. And then level 3, the skill's active effect reduces the damage Nevanthi takes by 10% for 5 seconds. And then this skill's active effect reduces the damage Nevanthi takes by 20% for 5 seconds at level 4. Now, this ability in itself is really good because it allows her to have some use in single target or boss fights. This allows her to be useful in guild boss, reducing attack and damage or defense of the boss. Same with some of the other areas in AFK Companions where there are single target units. This ability is great. For multi-unit abilities or fights, it's still fine, but it doesn't have that big bang like it does against bosses. And then last, Verdant Shade, a passive. When an entity summoned by an ally first appears on the battlefield, Nevanthi grows the Mark of Nature effect to both the summoner and summoned entity, which lasts for 6 seconds. Mark of Nature increases the recipient's haste by 10 points. Whenever the recipient deals damage, it inflicts a stack of the bind effect on the target. Upon reaching 5 stacks of bind, the target becomes entangled for 3 seconds, rendering them unable to move or attack. This effect can only be triggered against each enemy once every 4 seconds. Level 2, effect increases the summoners and summoned entities' attack ratings by 10%. And then level 3, when an ally dies, Nevanthi increases her max health by 3% and heals herself for the same amount. And this can happen up to 5 times per battle. So, what this means is not only is Nevanthi a really good healer, has some debuffing for bosses and for general usage, but she also has this unique ability to pair well with other heroes that summon things. So think Mishka with her wolves. What are some other ones that summon? Grizzle with his minions, stuff like that, where they summon an entity and she can basically buffer that unit and the person that summoned it. And so she pairs really well with Misha because of the Wilder faction bonus. You will see these two together a lot. She keeps Mishka alive and her wolves alive longer. And it's just a great pairing to have. So if you're someone who has Mishka built out, it might be good to have Nevanthi as someone that you want to focus on soon. So looking at her signature item, this is pretty much the same as it was in the base game. So not a lot of changes here. When using connecting branches for the next 5 seconds, Nevanthi transfers 10% of the direct damage received by the allied hero with the lowest health percentage to the enemy hero with the lowest health percentage. The amount of damage transferred will not exceed 35% of Nevanthi's max health. 10 increases the percentage of damage that is reflected by 20%, 40%, and then level 30, when the ultimate Nevanthi dispels most healing restrictions inflicted on her allies and triggers the connecting branches skill. Okay, so where is Nevanthi good at? Nevanthi's good at wave pushing. She's really good at campaign in Twisted, or not Twisted, Forked Realm, the Tower, Wilder Tower, different areas like that. But she can also be slotted into, like I mentioned earlier, guild boss stuff, Twisted Realm bosses. She has a unique kind of niche in those areas. For PvP, she's, okay, not anything to write home about, but she can be slotted in there as well. She is a top 10 unit in the game currently, so she's pretty much good in most places. I've seen some of the top guild boss damages include her in one of the fights or attacks, and so she's pretty good in that area if paired with the correct units. So I've seen her with a Solus and Mishka, and then some other damage units, but she can really slot in everywhere because of her massive amount of healing and sustain that she offers. It is pretty unmatched by most units in the game. It just is kind of overwhelming. When she's maxed out and fully built, she just heals so much. It can be so hard to kill a comp that has her in that. So just taking a quick look and to see her abilities, you can see she is doing some healing. You can see the green numbers that are popping up. Boom, heal, heal, heal. Heal, heal, heal. Like, I mean, it's really nothing too crazy to write home about. As far as like visually, like this is just what she does. She heals a ton. And some of her passive abilities as well are healing. There's some debuffing going on, but for the most part, this is just like very straightforward. Even though her descriptions are very long, the gist of it is that she can heal a lot, she can debuff bosses, and she can support units that summon creatures. And so that's kind of the gist of her. But hopefully that was helpful for y'all who are kind of curious about her. I think she's a great unit that maybe kind of gets overlooked at times, but she is someone you should definitely consider if you are trying to build for Awakened Solus and you're wondering which Wilders to build out, or you have a Mishka that's fully built out and you want someone to pair with her really well. Nevanthi is a really good unit to pair with her. So as always, thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and peace.